episode 589 comes to you live on the 7th of November 2022. The 2022 20 over World Cup, it's all been about poetic justice. It's all been about making sure that whatever errors happened in the previous edition, which was only last year, exactly 12 months ago, and whichever teams didn't have the luck going their way, they made sure that they worked hard in these 12 months and got the result they wanted. And that's exactly what happened. It only happened for one team, but it's fair enough that it happened. That's the way things are. And that's how this entire tournament has gone. We've used the word upset, but I would not want to use the word upset for associate nations or those countries who do not regularly play, unlike India and England and Australia, whose players are professionally contracted. They play all year around. They play in various competitions, whether it's their own country's domestic competition or other countries' domestic competition, or when they are not playing, they are allowed to be commentators for that particular tournament, which means they are continuously involved in the game. They are getting their paycheck, whatever will be the method. Unlike teams like Netherlands, Ireland, Scotland, Namibia, where for the players this is like a hobby. They have come to play, they perform well, they will get another chance in the next edition, but they have to do all the expenditure by themselves. They have to make sure that whatever expenditure is happening, their governing body, I doubt, has any role to play. They may contribute something, unlike other governing bodies who spend a fortune on the players in terms of lodging and accommodation and other minor things. Netherlands, Ireland do not have that luxury, and I think they may not have that luxury for another 100 years, because that's how we treat them. The International Cricket Council, in its own bloated ego, invites these countries. They have to go through various rounds of qualifiers and other tough moments. And when they finally qualify, they have to face tough teams. They have the potential. But the interesting thing is they don't come, unlike other teams, prepared playing over 20-25 matches. They only play 2 or 3 matches. And after that, to even come to the qualifiers, win the qualifiers, go to the main round, and give what one calls in Hindi kante ki takkar, blow for blow, to the main teams who play all year around in some or the other competition they are involved. That's something that has to be appreciated, and therefore it's poetic justice for these teams. But we are now on that part of the tournament. We have reached that part of the tournament where room for complacency is nil, because it's the knockout stage, it's the semi-final stage, and it's not surprising the teams who have made it to the semi-finals, because 3 out of the 4 teams were there last year as well. Only difference is that the fourth team, which has made it to the semi-finals, no one expected them to do the job. Everyone thought after last year's debacle and mediocre performance and issues between the coaching staff and the players and whatever stories were fabricated in pseudo media, it's not as if they're not fabricated every year, and retirement of the captain and the contract ending of the coach, all those things combined together, things did not work exactly last year. So once again, it's poetic justice for India to reach the semi-finals. Will they reach the finals? I do not know. I cannot say. All 4 teams have reached here, which means all 4 of them have a 25% chance of winning. I would not give any team even a 1% inch, because if you have reached the semi-finals, you have worked hard, you have gone through a lot of hoops, you've had to go through moments where your matches were rained out, you have to got through moments where you lost on the last ball, or there was a bit of a halt in the momentum when you had won two games, then you lost one, and everyone said the team is in trouble. Everyone started putting things in one basket in this particular edition itself. And then the next edition is in a place where I doubt any of us, especially in India, will be even able to watch one match. That's something that you all have to understand. The next edition of the World Cup is in the Caribbean slash US, where the timings are anyway such that 12 hours, 9 hours, whatever be the timing, that by the time the match starts, it will be too late in this part of the world. And that will be something the International Cricket Council will have to see. You may have awarded that particular region the World Cup, but the region where majority of individuals watch the match, that's something that is very important. Well, some may go crazy and watch the match at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm not that fanatic, so if a match starts at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I'm not going to watch. I'll watch the highlights. I'm not that nervous that I'll miss it, because this is not the first time West Indies slash US has hosted a World Cup. They did that in 2010, and I did not watch all the matches. I did watch bit few and far in between, or bit of the matches, maybe a couple of hours here and there, or watching the highlights, or watching or listening on the radio. That will be something very important. So if you cannot watch the match at 4 a.m., if it's difficult, then arrange for a radio. Hopefully the radio station which is responsible for broadcasting the matches, they do that. So I have my doubts that they will do that. But we'll talk about that later, because one trend that has continued, and that is something which now everybody has started to notice, which I noticed ages ago, that no team defends its title successfully and no home team goes on to win it. Which means if you go back into the archives, 2007 India wins, India doesn't defend in 2009. 2009, our neighboring country wins, they don't defend in 2010. 2010, England wins. Yes, England has won a 20 over World Cup, though it did not get the kind of attention we gave them when they won the 50 over World Cup in 2019. Well, that's the way the human mind works. It's a strange thing, it's a strange box, because we were so excited when England was going all ruthless aggression between 2015 2019. They won the 2019 World Cup, but we forgot that they had already won the 20 over World Cup in a similar fashion. Because if you win the 20 over World Cup, ruthless aggression is already in your blood. You have to win it that way. So that's how things are. 2010 England wins. 2012 England doesn't defend. 2012 West Indies wins. 2014 Sri Lanka wins. 2016 West Indies wins, and that is the only difference, that West Indies has won two in a gap of one edition. But West Indies didn't even qualify this year. They didn't have enough points, or something was missing according to the International Cricket Council, that they had to go through the qualifying stage, and they did not get through. It would have been a very interesting story if they had gotten through, but they lost to Scotland and Ireland and other teams, which meant that they will have to rework their strategy. They did not have their overhyped players, overprotected players, but that's the way things work in this business. Nothing is ever there. 2016 West Indies wins, 2021 Australia wins, and immediately 2022 Australia is eliminated. So Australia wins the 2021 World Cup. Australia is eliminated from the 2022 World Cup. India is eliminated from the 2021 World Cup, and India reaches semi-final of the 2022 World Cup. Now, this has a very interesting story. When India was eliminated last year, everyone was willing to go all negative. Mediocre performance, issues between the players, not getting the team combination right, why XYZ players were not part of the team. And therefore, that is why we were eliminated. We did not go in with a proper plan. We did not have the ruthless aggression or the aggressive brand of cricket which everyone wants to see. and there were fabricated stories of issues between captain and coaches and other players. Why he was selected, why he was not selected. We all know who was not selected, and the story continues. The opposite has happened this year. Last year, Australia was appreciated like anything. Australia deserves to win a 20-over World Cup. They worked so hard. It was such a perfect team. They had everything in the right order, from their openers to their all rounders to their fast bowlers to their spinners. Everything was just fitting the piece of the puzzle, which wasn't fitting for India last year. Turn it around, it's the opposite. Till now, Indian performance has fit the piece of the puzzle. They may not go to the finals, so they will get all the brickbats from the media and pseudo experts. So be prepared for that as well, because pseudo experts have a tendency to go absolute berserk in these situations. But till now, they have been appreciated. Everything has fit the puzzle. The opposite for Australia. Things haven't worked. Openers haven't worked. The fast bowling was not in the right order, not in the right frame of mind. Why this player was not there? Why that player was not there? And then, of course, losing the first game by a huge margin was very similar to how India lost to a neighboring country by a huge margin, and then everything didn't go well for Australia. They won a few matches, but it was just on the last ball finishes, and that's exactly how we have seen this. Well, I don't know which of these four teams will go, but the permutation and combinations are like this. All four teams can play each other, which means New Zealand, England, New Zealand, India, India, Pakistan, England, Pakistan. So everyone is vying for, once again, a 2007 deja vu. Is it possible? Yes. But New Zealand and England will have something to say. They also want to get hands on the coveted trophy, because who knows who all will be there for the 2024 World Cup. How many players from each of the countries who have played or eliminated will be there? Because everyone is speculating that it is the last World Cup for a few players, because they have now reached that super senior citizen stage as far as the sport is concerned. So you may not see the likes of Rohit and Kohli and Finch and Warner and even Maxwell in the 2024 edition. Maybe you may not see the likes of Stokes in the next edition, because by the time the 2024 World Cup rolls on, England will be defending its championship, ODI championship, for the 2023 World Cup. But there, the home supremacy is there. It's been there since 2011, and it might just continue. And talking about continuation, everyone talks about upsets. I don't know what is the definition of an upset. How can it be an upset? If a team has reached the group stage, after they have crossed hoops, they have gone through all kinds of issues, then it cannot be an upset. But this match was considered an upset. South Africa losing to Netherlands was considered an upset, and the moment last morning, South Africa lost to Netherlands, India was in the semi-finals. And all it did was a formality to beat the last group stage, and that's exactly what happened. But why do we use the term upset? Let's call it poetic justice. These teams have worked hard. It's not as if they have 20. They have 100,000 people supporting them in the stadium. If you have seen the games, I've seen the games, not through and through, but when you had teams involving Netherlands and Scotland and Ireland and other teams, the ground was not even 10% full. That's how we treated this team. Whether locals living in that part of the world or locals coming to watch, no. The moment teams like India and Pakistan and Bangladesh were involved in the match, it was a full house. So
it's 18:30.
That's how we look at these teams, and that's how we look at India and football. But let's not go there, because I have a lot to say on that. Let's not go there at all. That's how this entire thing shapes up. All permutation and combinations are possible. All four teams have a 25% chance of winning because there are four teams, so let's divide it and be honest about it. I don't know who will win. Whoever wins, there will be, you will see in the newspapers, Indian newspapers going the extra mile to appreciate the team. So let's say India wins. Everyone will say the effort of 1 year has been vindicated. Rohit Sharma does something which he has been waiting for since 2007. He joins an elite list to be a player in one World Cup, captain another World Cup, and going on to win that World Cup. If New Zealand wins, then we'll say they are vindicated. They came close in the 2019 World Cup in a controversial manner. They did not get the desired result. So, and we use this weird term, nice guys don't finish last. I don't know why do we use it, but we use it. So that's how things are. If England goes on to win, then we'll say a second World Cup for them. The wait of 12 years has ended. First time captain without a few players. The ruthless aggression movement continues. Vindication for someone like Stokes who may not be there in the next edition. He's already not part of the ODI team. He's already taken a break from it, retirement from it, whatever be the terminology. So that's how things will be. And if the fourth team, we all know which one it is, if they go on to win, it's a possibility, we'll say, wow, what a moment. They lost their first two matches. They dusted themselves off. They regathered themselves. And then they go on to win the World Cup. A 13-year wait for this team. So don't be surprised if there's a full 2-3 page article, players being interviewed, and for the next 1 week, everyone losing their mind. Whoever wins, well, the emotion will be less in places like New Zealand and England because for them it's not much of a big deal because they have other tournaments to focus on. They don't get emotionally influenced or hysterical. But if India and who go on to win, one of them will definitely can win. The emotions involved will be, well, don't be surprised if the captain of the current Pakistan team is compared with the 1992 World Cup winning captain of the team. It can happen. It will happen. It's a possibility. Such weird comparisons are how media thrives in this business. It's a business after all. So all four teams deserve, when you reach the semi-final, you deserve to win. Who will win? I don't know. Well, it will be slightly heartbreaking if your own home country doesn't go on to reach the finals. We'll say what errors were made. We made errors in the group stages. We cannot afford to make those errors in the knockout stages. Who knows what will happen? But there's one thing. Till now, no rain is there or scheduled for tomorrow and day after tomorrow as far as the semi-finals are concerned. Till now, there is no rain. But knowing Australia, it can rain 5 seconds before the match. It can go on to rain. So let me put it also the rain factor. If in the England-India match it rains, and it rains enough that they're not able to put together a match, I'm just wondering, will India might just go through because they have more points and a better net run rate. But let's hope you don't qualify on that basis. You fight hard till the end. But that is a possibility. Between New Zealand and Pakistan, New Zealand has a higher chance because they have got more points and a better net run rate. That's how things are shaping up. So that's why you want to do well in the group stage if it comes to such a situation that rain threatens to have an impact. Till now, the weather looks clear according to certain websites, but anything is possible in the next 24 hours. Who knows what will happen? Kisko pata kya khabar? India's last group game went according to plan, and they went on to beat Zimbabwe, and once again Sky did the job and now his name is becoming more of a cliche. सूर्य चमक रहा है, सूर्य अंधेरे में उदय हो रहा है, सूर्य उदय हो रहा है, ये सूर्य ग्रहण हो रहा है. I think I'm tired of hearing such words now. I think they have to be innovative. Sky is the limit. Sky is going high. After a while, even he'll lose interest in such things. So let's do something, change the narrative. But as far as the final is concerned, these are the possible combinations. I don't know which one will it be. We'll know by Wednesday evening. And semi-finals, these are the ones. Who wins? Well, whichever team makes the slightest of error, the other team will look to pounce upon it and make sure that they reach the finals. Episode 590 will be live on the 9th of November 2022. By the time a few things will be clear.